But what kicked off this investigation was a non-government conspiracy between people to take our children, and it had nothing to do with drugs. And that's openly admitted in one of the interviews. And so it's like, wait, so this is literally kicked off as an effort to take our children through the foster care system and place them with one of the people with the people who were involved in it.
Wow.
So there was that. And then the other stuff that we have is, it's related to my daughter who tested positive for cocaine and a metabolite. And there's so much about that gets, I bogged down explaining it. But one of the things that people always said is, well, what's the second test say? And I have the recording of us being told that had happened. And I said, that's fucking impossible. There's no way. And then I think it's like the second or third thing we asked is, we want another test. We want another test on her immediately to confirm that result, because that right. result is impossible. And the county worker looked at me and smiled and said, the county is not interested in pursuing a second test. And it's like, that's insane. Like, mm-hmm. you have to test her again. And they said, no, we don't. And so they never did. And we didn't have custody of the child, either legal or physical custody of the child at the time. And so we couldn't get another test. We didn't have the authority to do so. In fact, at that time, we weren't even allowed to talk to her yet. We hadn't gotten our supervised communication set up at that period of time. So this whole so we're stuck then going, there's no way that this happened. There's got to be a problem with the test. We want to have another test to confirm it. We can't get it because they're not interested in it. And then they never actually pursued it. So they never accused us of anything. There's notes that they have in there about, like, we don't know if this is ingestion or just exposure. We don't know where the exposure occurred. But the whole time is like, this is us. We're like, let's partner up here, county. We want to find out how the hell this
right.
happened, because like when that happens, you're terrified as a parent. Like, what the hell? How could this be? And so we never got to get the information, though, to try and investigate what happened, which has been one of the most fucking frustrating things ever. Because, like, I know, so it was like even a Hackamania, some guy was yelling at me, and he came up to me. He's like, your daughter got in your stash. I'm like, well, she didn't. Like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. It's a locked safe, and she's 8, and it's in a locked room. And I didn't leave it home. So I know she didn't get in there, because even if she got to it, she wouldn't have been able to open the safe.
Right.
Because Kayla and April couldn't even open the safe. They couldn't remember the fucking combo. And so it's like, the 8-year-old isn't going to get in there. So I know that she didn't get into the stash. So how did this result come about was, a primary question. And we never got the tools to answer it, which is really fucking frustrating.
It is. Yeah, I can't imagine. And honestly, you would think it would be protocol if they, came across something like that where, you wouldn't think this would be something normalized enough to be like, oh, we don't need a second test. Who cares? And because they knew that you were in a position where you couldn't demand one because it wasn't, you would think the state would automatically be like, this cannot be right. Let's just make sure. And when people argue this about this specific fact of the case, it bugs me to no end, because Occam's razor would say, okay, it's a false positive. Like, let's run a second test. The end. But people never believe, because it's so much more interesting and salacious and damning, I guess, that the kid got into it, or you were sprinkling it all over her hair, or whatever the hell. But it's just, I would genuinely think that this would be so abnormal in the lab that they would be like, automatically, no matter what, run a second test.
Yeah, right. I would think the same thing. And, but they didn't. Yeah. And people are like, well, why? It's like, I don't know. I'm not the county. I can only guess. But, it's been like the most devastating thing, is because, like, people are horrified by it. It's like, well, you should be horrified by it if it was real, but it's
right.
Like, it's just not. But you can't, they're like, well, prove it. It's like, how?